What's up, Battle Brothers? Ave Dominus Nox back again with another 40k video. So I had a friend talk to me earlier today, and he asked me, why do you like the Night Lords so much? What is cool to you about this faction? And I had a couple answers for him, but I had to sit down and think about it, and I was like, this was a good video idea. Here's a few things that I really like about the Night Lords. So first off, Nostromo is sick. They have their own language, and I've read a few 40k books, and I don't know about any other legions that actually have I know about cultists, but you don't really hear languages spoken that much. And in the Night Lords trilogy, you actually get to hear quite a bit of Nostromo spoken from the narrator, and they have actual translations. And their language is pretty cool. One of the characters described it as a murderer whispering in your ear, which is awesome. I'm not good at pronouncing stuff, and I definitely am not good at other languages. So we are going to try to do a Night Lord's phrase. Here's my favorite one. It's from the beginning of the first novel. Virus Koratha, Daf Setkara Tash Dasavalian, Soruthus Vevajas. It means sons of our father, stand in midnight clad. We bring the night, which is basically like, get your gear, get your shit together, we're about to go fight. Which is cool. I love Nostromo, it's dope. So the next thing I really like about the Night Lords is that they're kind of religiously diverse. Now, I don't mean in the ways like how the Alpha Legion is, where one Alpha Legionary could be completely atheist towards Chaos Gods and another one can be talking about how Tzeentch is in control of everything. It's not like that. The Night Lords balk at Chaos. They look at it as a power that they can control. Now, Night Lords who actually side with Chaos Gods are never really in control. They actually are being taken over by the power, and they like to let themselves think that they are in control. I can think of example of quite a few Night Lords that are following Chaos and they think that they're in control. Vandred was taken over by a demon, and he was the exalted one. On the outside, he was masquerading around as Vandred, but on the inside, he's stuck inside, staring on the outside, screaming and can't do anything about it. And the demon's able to dig into his mind and steal knowledge so that he can continue to be Vandred and have his awesome talent for Void War. So this is a pretty horrifying thing. Uzas was lost to Khorne, and it was pretty hopeless. It was to the point where it seemed like he lost brain cells over it. But he was being controlled with illusions of thinking he was going against the enemy, and it'd just be, slaves and other Night Lords. So that was pretty awful. My boy Sirion. Everybody hates Sirion. All my homies hate Sirion. Sirion has gifts from Slaanesh, and we're not going to go into Sirion, but he basically eats fear, and he was a scheming fucking little dickwad that I love. And then we can move around to the Siege of Terror. Does anybody know about the Painted Count? I don't remember what his real name is, and I'm not going to give him enough respect to go look it up. But he had a demon sword, and he got into a fight with the first captain of the Blood Angels at the time. The Painted Count gets into a duel with Raldoran, and the sword has been winning most of his battles for him. And he's talking shit to Raldoran, and the sword is like, oh, bro, you think you're better than Raldoran? How about I just let you fight by yourself for a little while? And Raldoran kicks his ass, and the demon blade takes him into the warp so he can be tortured for 10 millennia. Painted Count should be getting out of the warp around this time in 40k. Don't expect it, but it's a possibility. You can't deny that their color scheme and emblem is so fucking sick. I think it was so clever that they're all about midnight clad and whatnot, and they're painted in midnight blue with the red, the bloody red. They have the skulls, the bat wings on their helms for the officers, and then of course they're Chaos Legions, so of course they have skulls and human skin, like cloaks and all this crazy shit. Like they are so badass. So next up on the list is their rivalry with the Eldar. If you know anything about the trilogy and the end of it, they actually have a pretty heated rivalry with the Eldar. Now, they're not special as a traitor legion in terms of having a rivalry with an Eldar group, because the Emperor's children have it in for the Eldar pretty good because they love eating them soul stones and collecting them. They're just full of, every soul stone is different and full of sensations that they never would have fathomed. So they love, not to mention, their patron Chaos God is the She Who Thirsts, the mortal enemy of the Eldar. So that's terrible. That's a terrible rivalry for them. But this is not what the Night Lords are about. The Night Lords have a rivalry with the Eldar for a whole different reason. It's because the Eldar thinks that their prophet is going to destroy their craft world. I believe it's Ufwe, but they've sent people out to go get them. And then when the Night Lords have come back and retaliated during the fall of Cadia, I believe, they've had another clash. So this is a rivalry. They don't like each other, and I think that's a badass rivalry for a Traitor Legion. Conrad Kurz. Conrad Kurz is one of my favorite Primarchs. He's probably in like my top 3 favorite Traitor Primarchs, and I don't want to put them in any type of order because it's hard to pick. But Kurz, and it's not just that he exists, because this is a video about Night Lords, not Kurz. I like him because of the legacy he left on them. Their Primarch is a insane person. And he started out pretty bad, and he only got worse over time. And he basically imprinted that onto his sons. It's not that the Night Lords are insane, and some of them are, but it's just that they saw how he was, they adopted his philosophies, his way of warfare, his brutality, torture, mostly torture. And then, before he went out, he told them to go out into the galaxy and wreak havoc in his name. And they are still doing that to this day. And they still venerate him. Talos in the Night Lords trilogy said to Abaddon, well, Abaddon was making fun of Kurz, and Talos says to Abaddon, well, my father was venerated even in death. What does your father's death accomplish? I love that they're the weakest Legion. Now, I know that's some weird shit, but think about everyone's favorite Space Marine Legion. Everybody thinks that their favorite Legion is the best. The Wolfies, the World Eaters, Death Guard, White Scars, Thousand Suns. Everybody thinks they're the fucking best. But the Night Lords know they suck. And they will not get into a fair fight with you. Yes, they will cheat to win. Yes, they will ambush you. Yes, they will weaken you before they get there. They'll use every dirty trick in the book to win because that's their style. Now, they do have a little bit of stealth, and they are actually quite good at covert. It seems like they're very good at covert operations when it comes to sabotage, and they're good at escaping too. So the Night Lords are freaking dangerous, but at the same, they're Space Marines. It is what it is. At the baseline, every Night Lord is a Space Marine, but they don't have the specialties that the other classes do, so they cheat to win, and I love that about them. Sure, yeah, your Legion's better than mine. They could beat us in a straight fight, but similar to Batman, give us some prep time. See what happens. So this is my number 1 favorite thing about the Night Lords. They have a great trilogy. Soul Hunter, Blood Reaver, and Void Stalker are some of the best 40k books I've read, all written by the man Aaron Dembski-Bowden. Soul Hunter is the first book. It's basically about Talos' relationship with his brothers and the Exalted One, Vandred. And it also is, the side story is actually a love story, which I have not really seen many love stories in 40k. The only other time I've seen romance in another story was the first Caiaphas Cain book, which is the only one that I've read of that series. But Octavia and Septimus are great in this novel, and it really hits home when you get to the point of the title. The titles usually play a part in the story, and to figure out why Talos is called Soul Hunter was pretty great. The Calidus Assassin was great. That was a great point of view. It was a great book. Blood Reaver is the second book, and it is about their alliance with the Red Corsairs and Huron Blackheart, and they play a pretty major role in the book. Huron Blackheart's nickname is the Blood Reaver, so we're coming back with that second title, and it being related to the name of what we're dealing with in the book. And that was a great book. It introduces one of the best characters in the entire trilogy, Barial the Flayer. It also introduces another point of view character, Maruk, and these are both amazing characters, some of the best characters in the novel. So super duper great book. Now, number 3 is Void Stalker, and the Void Stalker is a Phoenix Lord, and I'm not going to give you any details on this book besides this book is awesome, and I just wanted to tell you that much just because I wanted to show you that the title plays into something that's going to be menacing the Night Lords. I already talked about the rivalry with the Eldar. That's basically this book. The ending sets up for actual more Night Lords lore. I'm not going to spoil the ending just in case you really haven't read it, but we have the potential for more Night Lords. Also, this is one of those legions where if you think that they're right, you kind of miss the point. So in making this video on this channel, I don't want you to think that I am a murderer, torturer, or condone this type of stuff. I love life. So, you know, we're only Night Lords in 40K, not in real life. So guys, don't take it so seriously, please. But we're going to hang it up. Tell me what you think about the Night Lords. Are they your favorite legion? Are they your least favorite legion? Do you just not give a shit? This is Ave Dominus Noob saying Ave Dominus Nox.